Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, so today is the 13th of August 2017 and I'm here in Korea, and it's been a while since I've been able to give you an update on the Korean adventure that I've been going through since I've been assigned here. So here's the latest update. A few weeks ago on the Facebook Messenger, there's the shopping type of thing. So anyway, I found a vehicle. So typically when the military person comes over, we're not allowed, unless you bring your families and things like that, you're not allowed to bring vehicles over. And even then, you have to be a certain rank in order to buy a vehicle. So a lot of people, rather than spend a lot of money on some cool cars, what they'll do is we buy these hoopties. So I went out and I was able to find my hoopty on the Facebook where they have these little sales groups and things like that. So I found this 2000 Kia Retona, and it's really cool. I'm really excited to do it, but it was a little bit unique because I did not buy this from another soldier that falls under the SOFA agreement, which is the Status of Forces agreement, which basically means it's really easy for me to transfer from one soldier to another soldier. And ultimately, it really wasn't that big of a deal, except there's a little bit of challenges and some nuances that I'll talk about real briefly here. So I was able to find the checklist online. So you just go online and you find the checklist. And I bought this, I purchased it on the Korean economy, and it's a used car. So the first thing it says here is the certain documentations from the Korean government. That was the part that was a little bit unusual for both me and for the guy that I bought it with. But I would suggest that you do need to go with whoever you're buying this, because there's certain papers that you need to sign, and if you're not there with them, it can delay how long it takes. So we went to the local area here near the Taiwan area, and basically the short version is you need to deregister it, temporary register it, and then do your bill of sale, and then you'll transfer over to the military portion. And then you'll be able to process the work and consider that a SOFA vehicle. So a few other things you're going to need to have is the bill of sale, and that's in the checklist. You can either get that from them or you can get it from the military, and that's another document that both people will need to sign. Insurance for me was very easy. USAA was very customer service oriented, and I was extremely excited because I save over $1,000 a month since my vehicles that are back in the States go into storage. And it was pretty cheap to insure this vehicle here. I think it's less than $100 a year, maybe. So it's not very much. The safety inspection is a thing that the Koreans need to have, where you just take it in. That's pretty easy to get to. You can go to, from what I understand, pretty much any shop. I went to the AFI shop here. It was next to Camp Kim. It's about $20 for that, and they go through this series of checking your lights, your wipers, emissions, and brakes and things like that. So $20 and it's pretty fast. And then I had to get a United States Forces Korea driver's license, which I believe is also part of the SOFA agreement. And it's just an orange little card that basically they transfer over from whatever state you came from in the States. And then you have to go take the test, which I'm glad I studied for. I missed 3. I'm sorry. I think I've got allergies or something. I missed 3 questions, but I don't know what I missed. So hopefully it doesn't ever affect me as I'm driving here in Korea in the next few years. And then most soldier always has his ID card, and we all know about our orders. So that was basically what you needed to do in order to register to buy a car from a civilian, get it transferred over into the SOFA agreement, and then get it registered, get your plates, and be able to secure that car so you have your hoopty to drive here in Korea. So anyway, after I got it all registered and everything, I'm all excited about getting it clean, so I took it over to a local detail shop, and then after it came back from the detail shop, I'm a huge fan of Rainex, so I went through and put Rainex around the windows. So after that, that'll wrap up the video. So I hope everything's going real well for y'all there. Things are going great here in Korea. It's a fun Korean adventure so far. And thanks a lot for all your support. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe for future bike riding, adventures in Korea, maybe even some of the military stuff, but probably keep that a little bit on the down low. So anyway, take care, everybody, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so I found this 2000 Kia Retona on the Facebook Messenger, and so you can see it looked pretty good to me, so I was texting him back and forth, and we finally agreed to go ahead and meet. So a few days later we agreed. I rode my bike down. It was a very hot day, and we we met at the parking lot of one of the main gates, and so there was the first time I saw the vehicle. And since it was a little bit tough to be able to check the vehicle out on post, I just went ahead and checked it out here.
Okay, well this is a Kia Retona.
Yeah.
Retona. It is a 4-cylinder diesel turbo. What did surprise me is it is a 2-seater. So this is not a seat back here. It does have a rack. The top does not come off.
I have another spare tire in my office. I do, yeah.
Okay. And it's got the windows tinted. It's a lot like a Jeep. Okay. And seat covers on there. It's pretty nice. Color.
All right, so here are a few pictures. It's a 5-speed. It's got the it's not full-time 4-wheel drive. It's got an older stereo. It's got 95,000 kilometers on it, so it's about 60,000 miles. It has AC. It's got a bunch of the other things. Probably the big kicker is it already came with a bike rack, so he let me throw my bike on there as I went around and test drove it. And then got a few more pictures as we went through the engine compartment. No major leaks that I saw. It's like I mentioned, it's got locking hubs. Just kind of the older style. Looks pretty good underneath. Found a power steering leak, and he was able to get that taken care of. Got some seat covers on there, so not exactly sure what's going on underneath the seats, but it does come with a camera. It does come with a navigation system, which is Korean, so I'm not sure if I'll keep that or not, but there's the box for the camera. It's only a 2-seater, so that I can mention before. And I'm going to see if we can clean up these wheels. The tires are kind of small, but they're in really good shape. He had it undercoated, so that part was really cool. And the shocks actually didn't look too bad. And I guess it's probably because there's only, even though it's 17 years old, I believe these are original shocks. They're still in pretty good shape. The paint is really good shape for 17 years old. So Kias and Hondas are actually, Hyundai are really they're actually winning me over. He's got the windows tinted. It's a 2-door. I already mentioned the tire size. I'd like to put bigger tires on it if it's not that big of a deal. And so anyway, I agreed to go ahead and buy it. We agreed on a price, and then we had to work through how we can transfer the money. We agreed that we would do it through PayPal. So we went through a little bit of testing modes there, and then once we got from there, it was a little bit later. It was about 4 o'clock, and so we went over to Camp Kim, and this is where we showed up over there. They were closing, but they were able to give us some information that is going to be useful to help us get it all done, to get the vehicle transferred over and registered. So this is what I need to do as far as to get it registered for the military. And next door was the AFES Firestone shop, so we took it over there, got the safety inspection really done, got done quickly, and from there we went over to the local, the Korean version of their Division of Motor Vehicles. And the challenging thing was for us, and you can see that it looks like almost any other division.
Alright, so it's the 8th of August. I do have a driver's license now, but I could not get the vehicle registered because Camp Kim closed before I could get my stuff together. But I have an idea how to do it now on a SOFA vehicle, which is a non-SOFA vehicle, so it means I'm buying it from out on the economy. So the first step is you need to have a safety inspection within 30 days, and then you need to have the vehicle deregistered. We'll take all that paperwork down to the Camp Kim, and then we will register it from a military. So we're going to try that on the next window that we've got. But we are at the basement of the local like DMV here in Korea, Division of Motor Vehicles. So this is what one of the basement garages look like. They have cameras everywhere, so there's another camera right up there. So there's the 2000 Kia Retona. We're gonna go grab some lunch or dinner.
So by that time it was getting a little bit late, and it was a Tuesday, so we thought we'd go and eat at this place. But unfortunately, this place is not open on Tuesday nights. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But anyway, we split ways, and I went ahead and went back home. Okay, so I needed to get a Korean driver's license, and I found the information online, and then I showed up the next day, and I was able to get my license. I only missed 3.
All right, so here it is, the 10th or the 11th of August 2017. I'm going to pick up my car, so I'm pretty excited. Here in Korea, I'm going to pick a 2000 Kia Retona. So anyway, I am heading over to that big glass building. That's the security building. Not security, but it's like the county building and outside of Itaewon. And there's one of those Carandos, that black vehicle right over there. That's one of the cars that I was trying to buy. But beautiful day, it's a Friday, so it's all good.
Okay, so the seller was waiting for me as I walked over to the Korean DMV area, and it's a beautiful building. It's really cool looking from the outside. Had some really nice
really
gardens,
nice
pretty cool,
here.
big flat
screens.
panel screens outside. But anyway, when I walked in, he was there waiting for me. And then we were able to start getting after the paperwork. And there's quite a bit on the Korean side to deregister it and do the transfer. But like I said before, it's really, I think it's a pretty good best practice to have both people there if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have the paper transferred back and forth so you can get it all signed. And that building was pretty hot inside, so thank goodness I checked out some of their vending machines. As we moved forward, we got some of the paperwork all signed, and he finally was able to get the temporary plate. And then we had to go back down into the parking garage, and he was able to put the plates on. And you see there on the front that it doesn't quite match up, and that turns out to be a little bit of an issue a little bit later after on the American side. So here we had to go all the way back and get his verification of like his notary, and that building was pretty cool because they had glasses there, so if you have a hard time reading it. And from there, we had to go back to Camp Kim. So it was a pretty cool ride as we go back through the city. There's about half hour, 45 minutes. As we go back through from his part of town back to downtown Seoul area. And Korea are the king of tunnels. They even build tunnels just to help cut down the sound for the people that live in the high rises. We're going through a glass tunnel here, and then we'll come out of it and we'll go into an actual tunnel. But they have since the terrain is so hilly here that they have tunnels all over the place. So haven't seen them build one, but they have lots of tunnels. Passed by the cool little bonsai farm area as we went through several other nurseries on the way back into town. Kia and Hyundai, I didn't know that they actually have merged together, so both the world corporate headquarters are right next door to each other. There's a couple cool buildings there. You notice the camera up in the right corner. Man, those cameras are everywhere. So anyway, we're heading back into town, and one of my favorite spots there is the Yongsan Seoul Tower. And we're coming up as we get ready to cross over on the Banpo Bridge, and we had to get back down into Camp Kim. So from here, there was only 4 people waiting to transfer, and it took about an hour though. So we were able to secure the new title and the plates, but we weren't able to get the old front plate bracket off.
Problem, it's got this long plate, this bolt is stuck on, and that one maybe will come out. So I'm going to try over at the Firestone place. I'm going to get that one off. And then they gave me these locks. Talk about, they've thought of everything kind of a thing. So I have this plate, and they got to come and lock it on there. They have the special thing that goes in there. So this one's no problems.
Okay, so we were able to race next door to the AFES, and they had a new plate bracket, and they were able to get it onto the vehicle. And so you see here that we were able to install it on the front there, and then we moved around to the back side of it where the guy was going through to install those fancy brackets. And what it is it's some type of a locking mechanism where there's a bolt in the back of it. You've got some kind of pins that go through the front, and then he's got to secure all that. And then what we'll do once we get all that finally secured is we'll go back to Camp Kim, where they will finally be able to issue us the registration, and then they will go through and secure the lock there for us.
Now the final pieces, putting in the lock. Okay, it is the 12th of August at about 8:40 here in Korea, and the new Retona, I want to see about getting it getting cleaned up. I want to clean all the wheels, all that other kinds of stuff. I think it'll shine pretty well. Probably take some of those stickers off to help identify the for OPSEC reasons. One of the biggest things really, besides the wheels, is it's not really that bad inside. Will be the engine compartment, so I'm hoping they can do the engine. So this is one of the biggest areas that I'd like to be able to get them to clean. Doesn't look not too bad. I think a good wash should do it good. So anyway, this is the before. Or 12:45 now, so I'm coming to check on the truck. It's still out there. He hasn't touched it at all, it looks like. But he's working on a couple of other looks. Wheels are a little bit cleaner. I don't know if he just did that with just cleaner or what. Nope, nothing on this side. They're still working out. Okay, let's see having any luck. Got it in. Hey Kim, how are you? Wow, look at that. Nice. Let's check it out. Let's see. This wheel's going to take some work. This paint seems pretty good. Here's the engine compartment. This stuff looks a lot better. A little cleaner.
This one didn't come off.
Yeah, some of it's pretty tough. That's why I almost always like it when all that stuff is already black anyway. But they always match this stuff. Okay. Take your time. I'm gonna walk up to the PX. But what time do you close?
now it's all clean. The tires definitely came out better, and the trim and stuff. So he said he waxed it, but it doesn't really feel waxed. But it definitely is shiny. The inside wasn't really that bad actually, but it's nice to have the glass clean. And I think I'm going to take this thing out and we'll go from there. So anyway, let's see if we can get so the rubber and everything did come out. Looks a lot better. Okay, so yeah, a bit better. All the rubber hoses and everything. So now I'll be able to see if I have any new leaks. So remember, it's a 2000 Kia Retona. Alright, so now I'm going to put one of my favorite products ever on this newly acquired 2000 Kia Retona. So, typhoon season here in Korea, so it's great to have some type of water repellent on there. And I'm a big fan of Rainex. So, just got it back from it being cleaned. So when the glass is clean, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. Here's how we do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take some of the Rainex and we'll soak it onto a rag here. Get it all nice in there. And we'll take it. And I like to do nice tight swirls. So we're trying to, basically we're just polishing and cleaning glass. So get it all in here. And we're going to let this dry. On there, so we'll go all the way around. Alright, so now I've gone all the way around the vehicle, and actually I went around it twice. You can see it's kind of on here, but it's taking a little bit to dry, so I'm going to let it dry. And then I'll, my favorite way to clean it is get a cloth and have it fairly damp, and then either a paper towel or another soft cloth, and then you just wash it off and polish it dry, and then the water will really bead. Now one thing, if you're going too slow, you might not notice as much of a difference, but at road speed, and this car may be a little bit more of a challenge, but or it may be even better because it's so upright and down that the water may come off. And but on the ones that are aerodynamic, a lot of times you won't, and even in a pretty big rainstorm, the water will just roll right off of it. And it's really great on the sides from splashes and things like that, especially areas where you don't have windshield wipers. So it's pretty cool. I'm really surprised it's not a mandatory type product, or they just haven't already made glass that is naturally just sheds and repels water and dirt. Well, it's been about 15 minutes, but it's still kind of oily. I kind of like it a little bit drier, but it's probably okay to go ahead and start wiping it off. But so what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll get this cloth really wet, and I'll bring out some paper towels, and then we'll go ahead. Right, so you can see there's a little bit of water in here. And got the paper towel here. So see how the water's running off of that? Works pretty good. And then I'll just come around with the paper towel and clean that off. See how it's running off? Well, I'm wiping it off with a paper towel, and honestly, what I think actually works better is if I had another one of those towels, or
Maybe what I could have done is had the paper towel be wet and then use the other cloth. Because the a cloth actually polishes a little bit better, but I think it'll be okay.